My name is Mohammed, and I work as an architect in one of the major companies in the country. Since graduating from university, I was able to secure this job because I graduated with distinction, which is not common. Over the past 5 years of work, I have made good friends, but my closest friends are Karim and Ahmed. We used to go to work and return together, and even when we had to supervise a project outside the city, we would travel together. One day, the company informed me that I would be traveling to a distant city to supervise a project that would be completed within 12 days. My job, along with my friend, was to ensure that all architectural plans were executed accurately. As usual, I prepared with Ahmed and Karim to travel to that city and finish the work as quickly as possible so I could return home. When we arrived there, we found something unimaginable. Next to the project, there were residential buildings where we were supposed to stay. However, what was strange is that all the apartments in all the buildings were occupied by workers and engineers, except for one building that had no occupants. This building was located next to a large cemetery. Although Karim was against the idea of staying in one of the apartments in that building, we had no other choice. I asked Karim, "Where should we go now?" This was my question to him. Of course, Karim couldn't answer that question, so we headed directly to that building and chose apartment 5 on the 3rd floor. The apartment seemed ordinary with nothing suspicious about it. Each one of us chose our room, and we sat down to have dinner and then went to sleep. At 4 o'clock in the morning, something strange happened to Karim. Suddenly, without any warning, Karim started screaming loudly. We rushed to him, and I asked him, "What's wrong? What happened?" Karim said, "I saw a terrifying creature in my dream, staring at me from a distance and threatening to cut my throat." I told Karim, "Don't be afraid, Karim. It was just a nightmare. Let's pray for, and these nightmares will go away, God willing." Ahmed said, "We must regularly recite the Quran because we don't know exactly what Karim saw in his dream." I said to Ahmed, "That's a good idea, but for now, let's pray for." We all prayed for and went back to sleep for a little while before going to work. We went to work, and it was indeed a very challenging day. We returned to the apartment, had lunch, and then each one of us went to their bed to rest. The same thing that happened to Karim happened to Ahmed. Ahmed woke me up in a frightened state and said, "Mohammed, something strange is happening in this apartment. I saw a creature looking at me from a distance and threatening to kill me, and then it disappeared." I told Ahmed to describe this creature to me. Ahmed said that its face was black, its eyes were blood red, it had horns, and it had large claws and was holding an axe dripping with blood. Its appearance was extremely terrifying. Ahmed and I went to check on Karim, but he didn't respond. The room door was tightly closed. We thought Karim might be deeply asleep, but after an hour, Karim still didn't wake up. We felt extremely worried about our friend, so we decided to break the door of his room. We entered the room, and the surprise awaited us. Karim was not inside his room. How could this happen when we saw him entering the room with our own eyes and closing the door? From here, the situation became even more terrifying. We started searching for Karim everywhere in the apartment, but he was nowhere to be found. We called his phone, but it was switched off. We asked the workers in the other apartments if they had seen Karim, but no one had seen him since we returned from work. We felt as if Karim had disappeared into thin air. We were in a state of shock and panic. We contacted the police and informed them about Karim's disappearance. They assured us that they would do their best to find him. In the meantime, we couldn't stay in that apartment anymore. We packed our belongings and moved to a nearby hotel. We couldn't sleep that night, thinking about what had happened to Karim. The next day, we received news from the police that they had found Karim's body near the cemetery next to our previous apartment building. We were devastated by the news. The police told us that they were still investigating the circumstances of his death and that we shouldn't interfere with their work. We couldn't believe what had happened. Our friend, Karim, was gone, and we were left with so many unanswered questions. It was clear to us that something supernatural and evil was going on in that apartment. We decided not to return to that city and requested to be transferred to another project. The company agreed to our request and offered their condolences for the loss of our friend. This horrifying incident seems inexplicable. I cannot provide a rational explanation based on the information available since it involves supernatural phenomena. However, it is important to prioritize your safety and the safety of others. It would be best to contact local authorities and inform them about what happened. You should also inform your company about the situation and confirm that you do not intend to travel again until this issue is resolved. You might also consider seeking help from experts in the field of paranormal activities or individuals knowledgeable about magic and demonic behaviors. They may be able to provide information and advice on how to deal with this situation. In any case, you should prioritize your personal matters and safety. It might be best to avoid haunted places and those associated with supernatural phenomena if you feel uncomfortable in the future.